I have submitted to the Commission for inclusion in the record a written testimony supplementing my previous testimony on May 22, 2003. I hope my participation here will contribute to the recommendation which, in the Chairman's words, will assist the Commission in doing everything it can to make the American people safer. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the many family and the friends of those who were killed or injured on September 11th. Their suffering is unimaginable, and perhaps more than any other single group of Americans, they have a vested interest in the Commission accomplishing its mandate. Let me address one area that has been the subject of both prior questioning and testimony by several witnesses, specifically the pre-September 11th relationship among the airlines, the airports, and the Federal Aviation Administration. In 2001, it was these three entities that by statute shared responsibility for civil aviation security in the United States. Air carriers had primary responsibility for screening passengers and baggage and for applying security measures to everything that went into their planes. Airports were responsible for maintaining a secure ground environment and providing local law enforcement support. Government's role, the FAA's role, was regulatory. Within the regulatory framework established by Congress, the FAA set security standards for 424 airports, for United States airlines worldwide, and for foreign air carriers flying to the United States from approximately 250 foreign airports. This division of responsibility among the airports, the airlines, and the FAA was in large measure a reflection of the fact that the airports owned the land and were best able to provide local law enforcement. The airlines operated the aircraft and were in the best position to manage passenger and cargo, and government had the regulatory authority. The priorities of the FAA were safety, security, and the capacity of the air traffic control system. Specific targets, specific objectives were established in each area, and progress towards those objectives was monitored continually. Given the dynamic nature of the aviation system, those objectives were also subject to ongoing evaluation and modification. In the months preceding September 11th, while greater public attention was focused on aviation delays and the Passenger Bill of Rights, internally the agency was very much focused on safety and security. On September 10th, 2001, aviation security in this company was on a peacetime footing. The FAA had worked hard to make changes in the aviation security baseline, changes supported by specific, credible threat information and analysis. The Office of Civil Aviation Security, based on information received from the intelligence communities, had the primary responsibility of assessing the threat to civil aviation. As this work was underway, daily evaluation of the system and assessment of incoming intelligence information led the FAA to issue security directives and information circulars to address developments and threats. Prior to September 11, 2001, we had a security system based on certain assumptions. These included the fact that politically motivated hijackers would release passengers after landing at a safe haven, and that together with such hijackings, explosives presented the greatest threat to the system. The events of September 11 certainly challenged those assumptions. A system which had proven effective for the preceding 10 years could no longer be relied upon. In the summer of 2001, while there was a growing concern regarding a domestic threat, the FAA did not have any credible, any specific information which indicated the type of attack we saw on September 11th was planned or even possible within the United States. The greater concern regarding a threat was internationally. Admiral Lloyd, Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, in his testimony will describe a broad range of activities in which the Transportation Security Administration is engaged. It's building on many of the components of the aviation security system established by the FAA, CAPS, the layered approach to security, intelligence assessments, testing, research and development, but perhaps most importantly, redirecting them to a changed threat. The world has changed in its entirety since September 11th. We are a nation at war, a war which has crossed our borders and entered our cities. Americans have long known that eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Now we know that in the age of uncertainty, it is the price of mobility. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, Mr. Chairman.